In my slides, I'm going to present the lesson learned from the practical experience that we had in Tunisia when implementing data sharing and interoperability. The first lesson was about data governance framework. So we need to set in place a data governance, a comprehensive data governance framework. As I said, the data governance framework is composed of legal, institutional, and technical framework. And why we need these three frameworks? First of all, we need the institutional frameworks in order to assign roles and responsibilities, in order to know what are the trusted data providers, what are the trusted data sources and trusted data references. And without a legal framework, no one will share data. That's why first we need to have this legal framework and institutional framework in order to know what to share to whom, and in order to protect data sharing and interoperability with a legal framework. And as a technical framework, as I said, so we need a set of solutions in order to guarantee interoperability between registries and between different systems. So we need to set in place, as I said, technical framework and legal framework, institutional framework, as well as a technical framework. And in order to set in place and update these three frameworks over the time, we need to have a strategy together with an action plan in order to set in place and update these frameworks over the time. So as I said, also, we need the institutional frameworks in order to assign roles and responsibilities, and in order to know what are the trusted data providers, trusted data sources, and trusted data references. And as I said, also, we need the legal framework because no one will share data without a legal mandate. So no one will share data without a legal mandate. That's why we need a legal framework for data sharing and for interoperability at the national level, and we need a legal framework in order to promote cross-sharing data, especially between different sectors. So the legal framework is needed to recognize also the use of the electronic document and of the electronic content. And in practice, we have three types of documents. This is my presentation. And in practice, we have three types of documents. We have ID documents, like e-passport, mobile ID, digital certificates for objects in IoT. So we have ID documents. And we have also administrative documents, like, for example, electronic declaration, like electronic authorization, and many other documents produced by the administration. So, we need to share this kind of documents between different administrations. And we have also transactional documents, like for example, e-contracts, electronic offers, electronic invoices. So we need also to share this kind of content. So we need the legal framework to give a legal value to the electronic document and the electronic content. So the legal framework is needed to define also data classification based on sensitivity of data, so to know what to share and what to not share based on a comprehensive legal framework. So lesson 2. Lesson 2, core registries of the state. So we are sharing data which is actually inside registries. We are cross-sharing data between registries. We are interconnecting the core registries of the state. It means that we need first to set in place the core registries of the state. So we need at the beginning to make an inventory to detect what is missing to be completed, to detect the paper registries to be digitized, to detect the fragmented registries to be aggregated, and to detect the registries with bad data quality to be sanitized, because we need to improve the quality of data, the outdated registries to be updated, and at the end, so in practice, we need to have the maximum number of high-quality registries in order to be able to cover the maximum the maximum use cases. So this is the lesson number 2. So we need to have the core registries of the states set in place, and we need digital registries with high quality of data. Otherwise, data sharing and interoperability are not possible. Lesson 3. We need to have unique national ID number, unique national identification system. It means that we need to use unique national ID for citizens and also for legal residents. We need that the national ID be shareable, stated and printed on official documents, and available also in machine-readable format. And we need to use this national identification number in all procedures, either digital procedures and in-person procedures. And in general, we need unique identification, not only for persons, not only for individuals, for property, lands, for vehicles, for companies. So the unique way of identification is needed, especially when we cross data, exchange data between different registries, between different departments. Fourth lesson is about data standardization. So we need to consider data standardization when requesting and designing the solutions. And we need the standards at all levels: hardware level, software level, network level, service level, and data level. So we need standards at all levels. So standards will help us to improve the quality of data, will help us to guarantee the usability and the reusability of the exchanged content between departments. And in practice, we need to adopt internationally recognized standards, and we can even define local and national standards for specific use cases in order to have and to harmonize the used data models, used data sets, the code lists, in order to harmonize the vocabulary used and the semantic meanings of that vocabulary which is used between several departments. So we need to use international recognized standards, and we can also define national standards for specific use cases. Standardization also englobes the used API and services and interfaces to request and to obtain data and to exchange data between several registries and several departments. Lesson 5, it's about data classification. So data classification is important. In order to set in place, it's important because we need first to set in place a data classification framework. So data classification is done generally based on the sensitivity of data. So we have public data, restricted data, confidential data, secret data. And based on the class of data, we can know who can access what and under what conditions. And data classes also defines the security measures to be performed on data before sharing it, like, for example, encryption, like anonymization, like data consent to be collected before sharing data, and so on. So data classification is important for data sharing and interoperability. So the next lesson is about the use of electronic proofs. In general, the electronic contents and the electronic documents have a legal value only if they are associated with legal proofs. Legal proofs like digital signature, like timestamping. That's why when we share data and when we exchange data between departments, it's a must. We need to send proofs with those shared data. Proofs of what? Of authenticity, of integrity, and also of non-repudiation. And we need three types of proofs: short-term proofs, since we need to early verify data before processing it. When we share data between departments, we need an early verification. It means that we need short-term proofs, and we need mid-term proofs and long-term proofs, especially when we decide to archive data for a long period. So we need also long-term proofs. And of course, in data sharing, since most of the time we are handling sensitive data, we need zero-knowledge proofs that help sharing data without revealing the sensitive information. Next lesson is about the business model. So regarding the business model, most of the time the data and the document shared by the administration are paid document and paid data. It means when we decide to to no more ask citizens to bring a document from one administration to another. We decide to send data digitally from one administration to another. We will disrupt like that the business model, because most of the time, as I said, data and documents are paid documents, and the revenue will cover the cost of the service, will cover the cost of maintaining the high quality of registers. So we are going like that to disrupt the business model. That's why we need to adapt not only the technical aspect, but we need to adapt the business, even the business model. We need to have a shared business model between several public and entities. So as I said, interoperability will cause loss of revenue and will disrupt the business model. That's why we need to adapt the business model, not only adapt the technical issues, the technical techniques used. In practice, we need to ask all public entities to publish the shareable data and APIs in an online national catalog. It means that we need to switch from a request-response model to a model based on subscription. So we need to ask the public entity to publish their data and APIs, and the others will subscribe and pay. It means that we need to switch even the model used from request and response to publish and subscribe, which are two different models. Next lesson, 8. Voilà. It's about safe sharing of data. Data is, with data sharing and interoperability, data is more exposed than before to risks. That's why we need to consider cybersecurity from the design of the system. So we need also to consider scalability, since we are handling hundreds of millions of transactions per day, so scalability is important. We need to think about redundancy and failover mechanisms in order to avoid to have single points of failures. And we need to set privacy and security by default inside systems from the design phase. And at the end, we need to set in place a set of ethical guidelines, since we are going to share data, to avoid the risk of abuse and misuse of data. Lesson number 9 is about communication and change management. So the data owning entities are the most resistant to the change, to sharing data. So we need to involve them from the beginning. We need to involve and to engage the key stakeholders from earlier, from the start of the project. And we need to set a legal framework to give clear legal mandates. Otherwise, a certain department will not share data. And also, we need a good communication strategy to spread the data sharing culture. So data sharing, it's a culture, not only technical solution. And the last lesson is about the ultimate goal. So the ultimate goal, why we are sharing data, why we are doing interoperability. So the ultimate goal is about to set in place, not eGov, smart Gov, to set in place automated administrative procedures, automated services, based on what? Based on life events. Life events like birth, death, marriage, change of jobs, change of home address. So based on live events, we are going with smart government. We are going to implement smart services and automated services. So this is my presentation today. So I tried in 10 lessons to summarize why we are doing data sharing and interoperabilities, what are the challenges, and what are the key lessons learned from concrete and real implementations and real-world implementations. I won't take much more time. I will invite our first speaker, so Mr. Marc-André Loco, to present for us the case of Benin, so regarding data sharing and interoperability. And thank you for your attention. Thank you.